Thanks for coming over. Today's video is about Dungeon Hunter Champions Ultimate Blitz Legend. Now, I am going to disappear here in a second and let you listen to some great music and watch the playthrough, but I'm only going to focus on floors 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50, and then at the very end, by request, I actually show the team I used to complete level, or rather floor 44. Now, I'll tell you, I want somebody's feedback on this because I really thought this was much more difficult than last month, and perhaps that's because I used a free-to-play team to get through it instead of like 5 stars, right? So we really talked yesterday, and thanks for all the feedback. That was phenomenal feedback. Really about the limit your choice, invest in your choice, and then replace when possible. And for me, I'm able to replace a lot of units with like siege towers, right? Siege towers are amazing Ultimate Blitz, and there's no reason not to use them. But frankly, not everybody has them, so I don't want to highlight those. I want to make it a little bit more free to play. And with Legend, I will tell you that I thought that the rewards must be getting a little bit better with those legendary discs, because I felt on some of those levels you needed a Nat 5 to get through, or some amazing gear. But with the team that we have, we were actually able to auto all the way up to floor 44. And 44 was seriously a challenge. We actually had to switch up team compositions and try it multiple times, and finally, out of frustration, just broke out some of our big mortal wounds units. And like I said, that's at the end of the video, but the floor took 10 minutes, so I don't want to include it as part of the normal video. It'll be at the very end. But I really felt it was a little bit more difficult this month. And it was a nice challenge, right? It was super fun. It made everything feel a little bit more worth it, right? Especially since you invest so much into this team and into making them work right. But I want to know what everybody's feedback. Did you think it was as easy as it always has been, or was there a little bit more layer of difficulty? Because what I found when going through this is that I almost wish that my accuracy was at 80%. And that seems incredibly high. Usually I do that cutoff about 70 in ascended raids. 70, probably pretty good. 80 might be peak, right? But here I almost thought 80 was necessary, just to get the ongoing damage and to get the debuffs that you needed. And the other thing is that I thought that the debuffs that the different round bosses applied were much more sticky. Maybe like Steel Widow 10 post update 4 sticky. I thought that they really kind of hung on a little bit. So there's a couple floors I would really recommend maybe having some immunity. So for those lucky folks out there that have the Dark Archangel, that have the Water Archangel, or have the immunity vampires, you're going to go all day. It's fantastic. You're going to love this, because those units are just good everywhere, and now they're also going to be key for making Ultimate Blitz a little bit easier. But this level's like a really good example of, oh, there's so many things I could do to make it better, but why? Because even though 2 of the units died, we still beat it, and we didn't get better rewards for more units staying alive. So I don't know that it's really worth going back and critiquing and tweaking and getting through it, because there really was no point where I was like super worried that this team wasn't going to make it all the way through, just because of how many opponents were left, where the units died. So it's a real struggle, like we talked about yesterday, to say, oh, well, let's go and replace some of those units and buff them up and do this, because you're getting the same reward. So now on some of the other levels, whew, I'll tell you, I was ready. I was ready to start investing all over again in new units. But I want to call it again, that's a trap, right? Just really focus on the units that you have, because the units that you have will do you justice, right? If you have the right team composition, like I said, this is a full auto team from normal 1 all the way through Legend 40. And then just from a time perspective and from a sanity perspective, you might have to click target your units just to make it not last 5-6 minute rounds. But, I mean, it's a great unit all the way through. Now, I got a lot of feedback yesterday, a lot of questions about, can this unit do it, can that unit do it? So I actually put together a bunch of different team units, like champion units from different teams people suggested for floor 50. Things like Obelisk or Monument, the Magic Girls. I don't have the Water Magic Girl, which is what everybody wanted to know. I have Yua. We've had this conversation. Feel free to give me your Yuka if you can. But I don't think that's a possibility right now. But seriously, I mean, those are great units, and they're way better than some other units, but you just got to, like, pick them, right? I'm not saying, like, these are the units to pick, but these are great units. Everybody has access to them. But just look at the units you have. Are they 6-star? Are they max skill? Are they in possession of your best gear sets? And is that gear actually leveled up to, like, 15 or 12, depending on which piece it is? So I just want to, I wanted to kind of go through some of those things, because I think Legend is a great example of where you start to doubt the efficiency or the efficacy of your individual teams, and it really starts to make you doubt whether or not you built the right teams. But if you got here, you did, right? Like, proof is in the pudding. We talk about that all the time. Don't listen to what I'm saying. Like, look at the screen, look at the results. We're not making this up. You're already at Legend 40. So no mistakes were made. Yeah, you're doing great things. So once again, at the end of this round, we're not going to get an extra disc or a pat on the back or special nod from anybody because one of our units didn't die, or because one of our units did die. So like I said, if it gets through it, like, I call it a win. Now 50. Hold on one second. There was almost a tragedy there. There's almost a tragedy. So 50 takes a long time, and we got some really good music to listen to while you watch the playthrough. But as you can see, we just switched out some units based on some comments, like, would this unit or would that unit work? And so I just put together, once again, it's another free-to-play team. Replace Obelisk with Monument. Replace Yua with the Water Magic Girl. You can replace Zircon with Amethyst, or probably Camille, the Light Basilisk. Maybe even Garai, if you've built Garai up. I mean, there's just so many possibilities. And what happens here is kind of what I was talking about earlier, is now it really comes into play how well you have built your units, especially in this particular instance, Manus, because this is a real old school defend Manus comp. In this particular, Manus does have max attack built up into him with 90% accuracy. And no, I didn't change it for this, although I thought about it. I didn't change him for this. That's actually how he's built coming into the Ultimate Blitz. But like I said, I wanted to finish it off with another completely different free-to-play group, because there were so many questions about whether or not different units could do it. Like I said, I think so much of it is just starting one place and sticking with that path all the way through. And several times in this, probably from level 44 on, I had to slow it down to see exactly what was going on, because a lot of units looked like they were taking way too much damage. And I think that some of that's probably just the Ultimate Blitz Legend got beefed up. And I'm sure, like, in the comments, let me know. I mean, do you felt like it got beefed up? But I mean, there were definitely a couple of times where I wanted to slow it down and figure out what was going on, because I wanted to make sure that this new comp we put together was gonna, be worthy of being put on YouTube. Because the last thing I want to do is lead people astray and say, oh, it's a great unit, and then it just sucks. But like I said, this goes on for like another 4 minutes, because one thing about Ultimate Blitz Legend is it's terrible slow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on some great tunes. At least I think they're great tunes. And I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye. Everybody, by special request, this is round 44. Now, this was the most difficult round for me to get through, and I have no idea why, but several viewers told me they were having trouble with it and they wanted to see what I did. I will be honest, one of the viewers kind of shared what their strategy was, their plan was, and I would say that the big win is mortal wounds, right? On this level, it is just insanely important not to have elemental disadvantage and to have mortal wounds, unless like Diva, you can build super tanky with high HP, high accuracy, and high defense all at the same time. So like maybe a Water Archangel would be good here, but it's the mortal wounds that was really the winner of the day. And I will tell you the other side of this is I don't think that this is an auto level. I think this is a level where you have to target everyone, because I think this run took me 9 minutes because I walked away, made launch, came back, and was like, am I still playing this level? And it was just like, it was stunning, because I'll be honest, I did not anticipate that it would be such a slow go, but that is exactly what happened. So I'd love actually to hear from everybody else to see like what kind of teams they took through this, because if you haven't done Ultimate Legend this month, obviously it's a little bit more difficult, I think, than it was. I could be totally wrong, because I'm trying to use more free-to-play units than I normally do, but I thought it was a little bit tougher than it normally is, and I thought that the application of debuffs and ongoing damage was much harder. I thought it required, like I said earlier in the video, I thought it required a lot higher accuracy to actually apply. So I'd be interested to see what everybody else thought. Alright, bye.